Welcome back to Our Community. We are visiting with Adria Bergeron and Bill Stewart. Adria is with the Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District. Bill with General RV. They are campers, and they are making it sound awfully nice to get away from it all and just get the fam together and have some really good quality time. Adria, first of all, for those of us who have a hard time saying it and even a harder time understanding it, what is a Watershed Conservancy District?
Well, basically, what it was designed for was flood control at the very root of our foundation. So after the Great Flood of 1913, there were a lot of lives lost and a lot of homes destroyed. So the Conservancy was sort of, the groundwork was laid at that point after that to make sure it didn't happen again. So the Conservancy District is a series of lakes and dams that are designed for flood control. And we cover, the Muskingum Watershed is the largest wholly contained watershed in the state of Ohio, covering 20% of the state. And there are more than 8,000 square miles which drain into the Muskingum River. So we are the largest conservancy district in the state of Ohio, and there are the series of lakes would include probably ones that some are very familiar with, which would be Atwood Lake is one of the MWCD lakes, Tappan, Seneca. There's Pleasant Hill and Charles Mill, and we also have Piedmont and Clendenning. So there's Leesville Lake. So there's a bunch of lakes that people may or may not be familiar with, but all of those are a part of that Conservancy District, which, again, were first and foremost created for flood control. So.
And then ended up being fun.
Right.
I mean, there you are responding to a tragedy, but it ends up being a wonderful blessing for the state and for the families that live here. You said how many conservancy districts there are in Ohio?
I believe there are 5, but I am not.
And ours is one of the largest?
It is the largest in the state of Ohio, correct?
Wow.
Yes.
You're somehow connected also with just caring for resources and as far as the green efforts that take place and clean water and so forth. How do you work together with those organizations?
We actually have a conservation department within our agency. So the conservation department does everything from land management with natural resources and trees and things like that to we test our water levels for different contaminants and things of that nature as well. So we're very much trying to keep the best efforts for the land that we manage for public use and making sure that it's a safe area.
And you're getting into a huge renovation project. Tell us about that.
We're getting ready to undergo $120 million worth of renovations, and that's throughout the district. And basically, a lot of the campgrounds that were built we have the lakes, we have these natural resources, and we want people to be able to take advantage of and use them. So the campgrounds were added in the 50s and 60s. So a lot of the facilities and the infrastructure is tired and dated and needing upgraded, especially as you heard about all the wonderful RVs that are out there. We need to make sure that the electric that we have is able to service these units, and we're going to be putting pads down so that way if you're not as experienced in terms of getting these in and out of campsites, we're going to have a level place for you to park it. So the money that we're investing in the campgrounds is going to be invested in the facility and infrastructure so that way it's more enjoyable and more updated.
How do your two businesses work together in this way? Because as you say, the electricity's got to be up to snuff and up to standards as far as what these new amazing RVs are requiring. And I'm thinking on water and goodness, you're talking about being able to do your laundry in your RV. You need more than just a spigot to be able to hook up to.
Right.
Do you collaborate? Do you meet together and figure out what needs to be done for these upgrades?
Well, I think a lot of it really going through the process of an RV and things like that. They have now 50 amp service in some of them, and that I think is why they're upgrading, their electricity so that they can have available sites to plug in. Water pressure and stuff like that, that's pretty much through the campgrounds. They verify and make sure that you have the proper amount of water pressure. It's a good, very, very good working relationship. We can provide you with the coach and the fun things that you need. They provide you with a place to stay and, sights to see and all that.
These campgrounds, Adria, are they primarily constructed for families with RVs. Are there cabins, or do people still tent?
They do, believe it or not. They do still tent camp. And yes, we have cabins, and they vary depending upon the facility that you're interested in. If you go to Clendenning Lake, for example, that lake the horsepower limit on that lake is 10, so it's a much slower pace. It's great for a family who's looking to just really truly unplug and get away and
Go off the grid.
Go off the grid, yeah. And a lot of people compare Clendenning or Piedmont Lake, which are they're very close together actually, to being up in Canada. When you go and you look at, when you're out on the lake, you forget kind of that you're actually in Ohio. All you see are the big trees that surround you. So you really can relax, get away. Those are great fishing lakes to be on. Both of them are a low horsepower max. So, but the nice thing is at Clendenning even, there are beautiful cabins to stay in. They're logs, so they feel kind of rustic. And they're, like I said, they're just a great place to go and get away.
Mm-hmm. Something you just said is very interesting. You go here and you feel like you're not in Ohio anymore. That is what is so cool about Ohio, is it looks like so many different places. And that is why the Film Commission has no trouble getting people from Hollywood to get out here and make movies. So I'm wondering, have you been approached yet? And are there other ways to use the Conservancy District other than camping? Like, wow, we could make some cool movies here.
Yeah, not to my knowledge.
Well,
we definitely have been the backdrop of some photo shoots, but
Yes. Weddings, how else
yes.
do people use it?
Right, weddings. We have a variety of uses. There are actually people that are homeowners that are on our land as well. So we definitely have some various avenues of use for the land. We also are. It's public land for hunting as well. So especially as we get into hunting season here, we're a lot of hunting goes on our land as well. So,
okay, that's interesting. How do you keep everybody safe if you've got campers, fall campers, and hunting going on all in the same area? How's that work?
Well, basically, if you are interested in hunting, what I would suggest you do, go to our website, mwcd.org, and each location has maps available, because anywhere where there is a campground, for example, or a residential area, those are restricted use areas. So you're not permitted to hunt within those. I believe there's a 500-foot setback from any residential park or public use, for that purpose, to keep everyone safe. So if you get one of the maps, those areas are marked off on the map so you can kind of make sure that you're in the right place. So
how wonderful for Ohio that we have this much land set aside still, just for enjoyment. It really is amazing. Let's get back to that $120 million. That's an awful lot of money. Where did that come from?
We were fortunate in that we were able to get oil and gas money when the oil and gas economy was a little bit better. So we were able to lease some of that land. And so 100% of the money that we received from royalties of the lease signings, we dedicated that money to go directly back in to update our facilities. So 100% of that's going right back into the public use areas. So
it seems like there is a natural partnership here, both of you, with the oil and gas industry. They're helping you, and your vehicles require it.
Right.
So is there a way that this all benefits, that you all benefit each other?
I definitely think, especially, whether the gas prices, if the gas prices are up, then we're able to, the oil and gas picks back up. But
if
gas prices are down, then, putting
Well,
gas in your RV is a lot cheaper. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, gas prices are down right now, and that does help our industry a little bit. But even at that, even if the gas prices would go up, back to where they were, the cost of going out for a weekend or for a week or permanent is still a lot less than what most people would actually think.
That's phenomenal to know. That's really good to know, and surprising, I think.
If by chance, if you had a 50-gallon tank and gas prices went up $1, would $50 keep you from enjoying your family?
Very good point. No, not in the least. That's a very good point. Yeah. So interesting. All right. Adria, the Watershed Conservancy also has a heart for the community. You do some things, you
Yes,
giving back.
right.
Recently had an event. Tell us a little bit about that.
Recently, we did Kayak for Cancer, and that was an event that we did at Atwood Lake Park. Basically, kayaking and paddleboarding and a lot of water sports are rising in popularity, and our lakes are great locations to get out and do that. So what we did was had an event where if you wanted to bring your own kayak, we just asked for a $10 donation, or we do have a supply of them, both individual or tandem kayaks that we were able to rent out in order to raise some money to donate back to breast cancer research. So that was one of the things that we did, and just to give everyone a good reason to go out and just enjoy the water. Last year when we had the paddle as well, we were fortunate enough to see some bald eagles while we were out. It's just, floating on the water, you really get to get into those nooks and crannies where maybe you can't see them all from a boat. So you're able to really see wildlife, kind of without disturbing it at the same time. So it's a really cool way to be out on the lake and enjoying and getting exercise while you're at it. So.
And a nice way to raise funds for a very good cause, doing something a little different than doing a walk.
Right.
We all
right.
participate in the walks. How cool to
do a kayak.
do a kayak, get
That's
out
right.
on the water.
Yep.
I grew up on a lake, and there is something about being near water. What is it? What is it?
I don't know. It's I agree. It just is relaxing, to be out there and to do something different, I think, too. All of our lakes as well have marinas. So if you don't have a boat of your own that you can go and you can rent a boat, you can rent a pontoon. Sometimes you can rent a fishing boat. If you're at Pleasant Hill or Tappan, you can actually rent speedboats because the horsepower, or Seneca, in fact, they have higher horsepower limits. So
Deeper lakes so that you're able to?
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have lots of various uses, but that's, I think, the thing. There's a lot of variation that can be had. You can do everything from kind of the fast stuff to the slow stuff and everything in between. We also have swimming beaches, which this time of the year are not quite probably where you want to go, but in the summertime, come out and go swimming. And it's a great way to be outside and do something different and really enjoy the great outdoors.
And for both of you, it's fall, so you do have some off-season camping rates, even though I know it's called off-season, but this is an absolutely gorgeous time to see Ohio. In fact, someone said Amish country, it's ranked among the top 10 places in the country to go, and I might not have that exactly right, but one of the top places in the country to see the leaves. So talk about the special rates.
Yeah, we are in our off-season camping rates, which means it's $20 a night, and I would certainly agree with you in that it really is almost one of the better times to go camping in a way, simply because you've got those cooler evenings. It's really fun to sit around a campfire at night. The leaves, you're surrounded by trees at any one of the parks you go to for us. So the fall foliage is absolutely beautiful. And let me tell you, go check it out from the water's perspective, and you're looking in at it. You get the reflection from the water, and it's just something to see. So you get to see all the colors, and it's a really great time to go camping. And especially if you have a camper with heat in it, you're going to be comfortable. So
Yeah, at that point, you're ready to go.
some of the campers that I've seen even have little fireplaces in them. So they're really.
I have got to see these new campers. This is just amazing. I've learned a lot today. Bill Stewart, give us an email address or a website or a phone number where people can find out more about General RV.
Okay, all of our inventory for all of our 11 locations is located at generalrv.com, which you can look at that, pretty much any time, day or
Okay.
night, and all the inventory is right there.
Perfect. And Adria, how do we find out more about the Conservancy?
If you get on our website as well, it's mwcd.org for Muskingum Watershed Conservancy District. We've got a list there of all of the locations that we have campgrounds, or you can find out more about what we do from a conservation perspective as well. So all the information is on our website, mwcd.org.
Bill Stewart, Adria Bergeron, thank you both so much for what you do for our community.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.